Hi, I'm Eric Sterling from the Criminal Justice Policy Foundation with another edition of Sterling on Justice and Drugs. I'm talking today about the tragedy in Mexico. A few hours ago, the Washington Post reported that more bodies have been found in Durango in the mass graves that they've been digging up there, and the total is now 196. These graves are not a new phenomenon. Last month, there were 183 found in graves in Tamaulipas, just south of Texas. 11 years ago, there were mass graves unearthed in Ciudad Juarez, and this created an enormous scandal, and people were very, very alarmed. The Los Angeles Times asked me to write about it, and I wrote a piece called Legalize Drugs or Expect More Mass Graves. And in that piece, I pointed out that the reason for these graves is the violence, the inherent violence in the drug trade. Violence is used to protect the property, which is so valuable from robbers. Violence is used to resolve all the kinds of conflicts that are inevitable in this kind of business. Violence is used to advance one's career. Violence is used to discipline employees. And in the case of Mexico, violence is being used to intimidate lawful authority. Almost 40,000 people have been killed in Mexico now since December 2006, when President Calderon decided that he was going to use force to suppress the illegal drug trade, a drug trade that's $20 or $30 billion a year in Mexico. We're finding, in these tragedies, bodies in wells, bodies on street corners, bodies on bridges. The Washington Post reports they just found 6 bodies across the street from a middle school. What are we going to do? Put up signs declaring corpse-free school zones? This violence is not going to be stopped by these kinds of approaches. A friend of mine described drug enforcement as carrying a presumption of futility. And that's what we're seeing now. The futility of trying to stop this business through violence, because it feeds on violence. This is Eric Sterling for another edition of Sterling on Justice and Drugs. Talk to you next time.